It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the City of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning and welcome to City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM. My name is Stuart Walter and my guest this morning is Deputy Mayor Colleen Smook. Welcome.
Good morning.
Let's start off by talking about City Council. There was a public hearing before the last regular meeting on the size of council, as council is looking to reduce from 8 to 6 in order to save some money on the budget. What did council learn from the hearing, and what will be done with the opinions and thoughts that were brought forward?
Well, the public hearing was only attended by 8 people, and 7 of them asked that we retain the size of council at 8, and 1 was in favor of reducing the numbers. We'll have to take this back to council as a whole and discuss it as part of our budget deliberations, and if anybody has any suggestions and still has time, get a hold of your fellow councillors or my fellow councillors and let them know what your thoughts are.
There was once again confusion, it seemed, among council with regards to what the proposal is being done to the Thompson Charter Act. Could you clarify what is the work that has been proposed with regards to it?
One more time, the Charter Act and the actual bylaw to change the number of councillors are 2 different things. The Charter Act is just to clean up the wording so that future councils and ours can have whatever number of councillors they want without doing a 2-step process. We'll just put sort of an up to so many numbers as through per the Municipal Act. Right now, we're tied in with the numbers, and theoretically, if we do change the councils, then we're not in compliance. Where with this Charter Act, just allows us and future council to decide on the number of councillors.
What are your thoughts on the fiery debate that took place?
I really don't think there's a need for it. It's very clear in what we're talking about. I think the problem lies in that we've talked about both things together, so some of the councillors are insinuating automatically that we're going down to 6 by changing this charter.
You're going to be attending the Look North Roundtable meeting. When and where will the meeting be taking place, and what's going to be discussed?
Okay, well, the first Look North that I attended was yesterday in Thompson, and there was over 60 people in attendance. It was a very good day. Our 4 topics yesterday were mining and other resources, Indigenous engagement and partnerships, housing challenges and opportunities, and infrastructure investment. And basically, Chuck Davison, the co-chair of the North Project, was there, and then we have different JAGs for each, so we were set up into 4 groups and discussed the problems and the positives of what we can do to make it work here in the North. And the next one is in Flin Flon on Tuesday, March 20th. And there's 2 discussions for topics for discussion: education, training, and workforce development, and enterprise ecosystem of support.
Nickel Days was brought up at council. It's coming up soon. Why is it important to declare events like this as special events?
It just makes it easier for the organizers to get everybody under one umbrella when when they've got the different people coming to town to set up shop, so to speak. This way, Nickel Days can get all the permits in place on their behalf, so that we don't have 100 different people coming to City Hall. It just works out.
The screening officer who, if everyone remembers last year, the way parking tickets are handled here in the province of Manitoba changed, so it doesn't go through the courts, it goes to the screening officer, then to another hearing if it goes past the screening officer. And so the screening officer here in Thompson has had his contract renewed for another length of time. And you spoke in the meeting that it's a great deal for the city. Why is that?
Well, we have to have the screening officer according to provincial guidelines and that. And we're lucky enough that we don't have to hire a full-time or a full part-time person for that. The screening officer that we have hired does it on a per call basis. So every time that he has a hearing, he charges us $50. Last time it was $30, but we were also told by the province when it first came out, the average hearing would be 15 to 20 minutes. Well, it's turned out that it's closer to 45 minutes to the hour. So this way we only have to pay the screening officer $50 for each case that he handles rather than have somebody on staff.
There were two bylaws voted into law at the last meeting, the campaign expense bylaw and the vote counting machine bylaw amendment. What are they and what do they do?
Basically, the campaign expense just sets out what councillors and the mayor are allowed to spend on their campaign costs. And the reason that you have to change it is it also has the date of the election in it and the dates that you can start. So that is why. And for the vote counting, we did vote counting by the machine last year, and this was just to update the dates of the election in that also.
There is one big event that's starting to get into the minds. I know I just today recorded the first Thompson Today with Donna Wilson and Wally Itzen talking about it, the Relay for Life.
Relay for Life's always big in Thompson. It's great community support in that. So April 28th, and then a few years ago they changed it. It used to be an all-night process. Now basically we start at 5 o'clock and you're just there till 2 o'clock in the morning. So get a hold of the team and get your teams selected, and it's a great time had by all for a good cause.
Public Works update now. What's going on with snow removal?
Okay, so I just talked to them at Public Works. Right now, we're hauling snow from the catch basins and getting the catch basins open for the days when it's super nice and the water can run off. Still working on some of the rutted streets around town. They'll be remediating them as they go along. And then water breaks.
Yeah.
We've had quite the year of water breaks, and this one here, they've just finished up one on Harvard. There's one in Hudson Bay. That big one on Juniper has been totally completed and worked. That was a sort of a nasty one. And then there's a smaller one on 20 Links, a service break that we have to yet to get to.
And then public safety, because of that nice warmer weather, the river is getting a bit dangerous.
Yes, the river's dangerous. Snowmobiles are still crossing right near the boom. Please stay off the river, especially this nice sunny days will deteriorate the ice quite a bit.
And finally, we don't have to talk about them anymore in the future tense because they're over now, but the Winter Games, I believe, were quite the success.
Oh, Winter Games were a great success. I really feel that the Winter Games, with all the volunteers, the non-volunteers that worked, the city staff went above and beyond in getting things ready. That's, between the rec, Public Works, the City Hall, just everybody was pitched right in there. And I think it brought Thompson together as a community. We really needed this in this talk of when we talk economic doom and gloom. It was wonderful. Even me selling the 50-50 draws, thank you for the support. We were able to raise $5,750 in like 5 days, and that'll all stay in Thompson and go back to the community. People were still making checks out to the Winter Games on basically the last day. So the support from Thompson was phenomenal, and thank you one and all.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning, Deputy Mayor Smook.
Thank you.
If you have any questions you'd like answered next week, email them in advance to CHTMnews@arcticradio.ca. For City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM, I'm Stuart Walter.